NBC News international correspondent Raf Sanchez joins us from Tel Aviv, and also with us, Hagar Shamali, former spokesperson for the U.S. mission to the UN. Raf, lots to talk about here. What are we learning?
Anna, World Central Kitchen is saying those 7 aid workers were killed in an Israeli strike in central Gaza last night, and the victims were from all over the world, the UK, Australia, Poland, Gaza, and including at least one American. Chef Jose Andres saying Israel's government must do more to bring an end to the killing.
This morning, the twisted remains of World Central Kitchen armored vehicles destroyed by an Israeli strike. The U.S. charity says 7 of its staff were killed in the attack, and now it's halting its aid operations in Gaza. The victims include a dual U.S.-Canadian citizen, as well as people with British, Australian, Polish, and Palestinian citizenship.
A lot of people very, very happy to see us.
Chef Jose Andres, who founded World Central Kitchen, calling them angels, and adding, the Israeli government needs to stop this indiscriminate killing, stop using food as a weapon. Andres' organization was the first to bring desperately needed food into Gaza by sea. He spoke about his mission to get food to northern Gaza on Today.
We need to do everyday shipments to the north. We can solve the hunger problem in the north. Everybody working together, we can be successful.
God bless you.
The Israeli military calling the killings a tragic incident and says it's launched a thorough review at the highest levels. Its spokesman saying he talked to Chef Andres.
We are committed to examining our operations thoroughly and transparently.
But the charity says its staff were traveling in a 3-vehicle convoy clearly marked with its logo, and that it coordinated their movements with the Israeli military ahead of time. The White House urging Israel to swiftly investigate what happened.
Hey, this is Zomi and Chef Olivier.
One victim, Australian Zomi Frankom, an experienced aid worker. Damien Sobel from Poland was also killed, according to his local mayor. Israel facing questions about the accuracy of its strikes in Gaza. As elsewhere, rising fears of a wider war. This fiery explosion destroying an Iranian diplomatic building in Syria yesterday. Iran says the blast killed 7 officers from the Revolutionary Guard. Now it's blaming Israel and saying that as an ally, the U.S. must answer for the attack.
Now, Israel is neither confirming nor denying it was responsible for that strike in Syria yesterday, but Israeli forces are on high alert for potential Iranian retaliation. We are also starting to see the real-world impacts of World Central Kitchen being forced to pause its operations in Gaza. Those several ships heading from Cyprus towards Gaza, now turning around. They were carrying badly needed food and aid for people in northern Gaza, where the UN says the situation is on the brink of famine. Our crew has seen families trying to feed their children with grass. Anna.
It's all such a tragic situation. Raf Sanchez, thank you. I do want to note we are monitoring a meeting happening in France right now between the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, meeting with his counterpart there, the French foreign minister. And we'll monitor remarks made here this morning, bring you the highlights as we get them. But let me turn to you, Hagar, and let's just talk about now what's happening there inside Gaza. Describe the dangers aid workers face on the ground there right now.
Well, in any war zone, it's extremely dangerous for humanitarian aid workers. But the issue is when you have a war zone, especially where one side is a democracy, then you give a warning to that country, to the warring side, or whichever warring side, you give a warning, you coordinate your movements with them. That is very standard for all humanitarian aid organizations in a war zone. That's why you see them operating in war zones all over the world. Now, you do have war zones where we've lost numerous humanitarian aid workers, journalists, and so on. I handled Syria at the White House, and I saw it for myself. But the difference between Syria and Gaza is that you should be dealing with at least one side that where you do have a relationship. You can say to Israel, hey, we are moving in this convoy. This is where we're going to be. Please don't target us. In a country like Syria, you couldn't do that. You had a dictatorship that was a murderous regime, and on the other side, you had a weak opposition and then terrorists. And so it was completely different. And so this shouldn't have happened.
Right.
Now, with a democracy, you're going to have an investigation, yes, and hopefully something transparent. But it shouldn't have happened, and it undermines it highlights the danger that you have in Gaza, but it also undermines Israel's messages and goals when humanitarian aid workers are caught, when they're struck.
And it just has to be such an indescribable decision that these aid groups face. Now, halting efforts to address a completely desperate need there because they can't ensure the safety of their workers.
That's right. So you're going to see this backlash, and I bet it's not just going to be World Central Kitchen that's going to make those decisions, because they can't sacrifice their aid workers this way if they don't have assurances that they're going to be kept safe. World Central Kitchen, which is, by the way, one of my most favorite nonprofits, they do amazing work. They deliver, the last figures I saw were about 300,000 meals a day in Gaza, which is significant when you're talking about the meals that the U.S. military was airdropping into Gaza was something around 39,000, 40,000 meals. So 300,000 meals a day is significant, particularly in an area that is not only on the brink of famine and is clearly, these individuals are suffering, Palestinians are suffering significantly, but you also have that the UNRWA, the UN Relief Works Agency, has lost its funding for the most part, is going to cease almost all of its operations, and that only exacerbates things further and points to what the U.S. and many countries are obviously calling for, which is an immediate ceasefire right now. Whether it's temporary or permanent, at this point, when you've got this kind of famine and you've got this level of death, the point is that an immediate ceasefire needs to be brought right now.
And I just want to underscore that World Central Kitchen had been the biggest provider of food aid in the Gaza Strip after the UN. And you pointed out that the UN's efforts had been largely scaled back because of funding being cut off. So where does this leave the people of Gaza right now when this aid is just so desperately needed?
Well, it's going to make things even worse in the immediate term, but my hope is that it increases pressure on the two sides, on Israel and Hamas, both of which to come to an agreement on a ceasefire. Hamas has been the one that's been the most difficult, actually, in the ceasefire negotiations. Israel has agreed to the last few rounds of proposals, and Hamas has been the one rejecting it. And so hopefully the two sides will reach some kind of agreement to come to some immediate ceasefire. Hamas is no longer demanding a permanent ceasefire. So there is a hope there and those talks continue, even with everything you see happening. The talks led by Egypt, Qatar, and the United States do continue. It's very touch and go. It depends on the day, where sometimes it seems doable, sometimes it doesn't. But unfortunately, I expect things in the area in Gaza to get even worse, especially in northern Gaza.
Hey, everyone. MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.